Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kai. Today we're going to talk about a combination that people around the world swear by, turmeric and honey. You've probably seen the claim, turmeric plus honey is the most powerful natural antibiotic. That's a strong statement, so let's slow down and do what a doctor should do. We separate hype from truth. Is turmeric and honey a real antibiotic, like a prescription drug that kills specific bacteria in a controlled way? No. But can turmeric and honey support your body's defenses, reduce inflammation, soothe the throat, calm irritation, and help the immune system respond more intelligently, especially at the early stage of illness or during recovery? For many people, yes. And if you understand how to use it correctly, when to use it, when not to use it, and how to match it to your body type, this simple remedy can become one of the most useful tools in your home. In this video, I'll explain turmeric and honey from a Chinese medicine perspective. I'll explain what modern science suggests in a practical way. I'll show you how I recommend using it, and I'll also tell you exactly who should be careful. And please hear me clearly. If you have a high fever, severe symptoms, worsening pain, difficulty breathing, symptoms lasting many days, or you are immunocompromised, please seek medical care. Natural remedies can support the body, but they do not replace proper medical treatment when it's needed. All right, let's begin. In Chinese medicine, we don't think of illness as only germs. We think of illness as an interaction between the outside world and your internal strength. Two people can be exposed to the same virus or bacteria, and one person gets sick while the other stays fine. That happens because their internal terrain is different. In Chinese medicine, the protective layer is called wei qi, defensive qi. It's strongly related to your lung system, your digestion system, spleen and stomach, and your overall vitality. When wei qi is strong, you resist. When wei qi is weak, you catch things easily, you recover slowly, and small problems become bigger problems. So when people ask me for a natural antibiotic, I often say the strongest antibiotic is not a spice. It's a strong internal system, good sleep, strong digestion, stable stress response, regular movement, warmth, hydration, simple food. But turmeric and honey can still be a powerful tool because it supports the internal system in several ways. Now let's talk about turmeric. Turmeric is warming in nature. In Chinese medicine language, turmeric is known for moving qi and moving blood, reducing stagnation, and helping the body clear inflammatory congestion. When I say stagnation, I mean that sense of stuckness in the body, tightness, heaviness, swelling, sluggish digestion, aches that feel worse in cold weather, phlegm that lingers, a feeling that the body cannot clear things out. Turmeric helps movement. It helps your body process what's stuck. It's also associated with helping the body handle dampness patterns, those heavy, sticky, slow patterns that many people today have from too much sugar, too much greasy food, too many cold drinks, late nights, and chronic stress. Now honey. Honey is sweet, moistening, and gentle. In Chinese medicine, sweetness in the right amount can tonify, meaning it supports and relaxes. Honey can soothe dryness, calm irritation, and support the lung and throat. This is why honey is used traditionally for dry cough, scratchy throat, and irritation. Honey also has a harmonizing nature. It smooths harshness. So turmeric is warm and moving, honey is moistening and soothing. And when combined, you get a formula that warms and moves while also soothing and protecting. That's why people experience it as powerful. Now let's address the word antibiotic. When people use that word, they usually mean one of two things. They either mean, does it kill germs? Or they mean, does it help me recover faster? Those are different. Turmeric and honey are not a targeted pharmaceutical killer of bacteria, but both have properties that can discourage microbial growth in certain situations and reduce inflammatory damage. And in many real-world infections, your symptoms come not only from the germ, but from your immune response: swelling, irritation, inflammation, heat, pain. If you can calm excessive inflammation while still supporting immune function, you often feel better and recover more smoothly. So in Chinese medicine terms, turmeric and honey is less about killing and more about supporting correct qi and clearing obstructing factors. Now here is the most important Chinese medicine concept in this entire video. Not every illness is the same. Sometimes you have wind cold, sometimes you have wind heat, sometimes you have dampness, sometimes you have phlegm, sometimes you have internal heat from stress and poor sleep, and then you catch something on top. If you use the wrong remedy for the wrong pattern, you may not get the result you want, and sometimes you can feel worse. So I'm going to teach you how to match turmeric and honey to the right pattern. First, when turmeric and honey is most helpful. It's most helpful at the early stage of illness when you feel a scratchy throat, a mild cough, a sense of mild congestion, mild body aches, fatigue. Maybe you feel something is coming and you do not have a high fever or severe worsening symptoms. It can also be helpful during recovery when the infection is mostly gone but irritation remains, the throat is still sensitive, the body still feels inflamed, and you want gentle support. Now, when turmeric and honey is not ideal, or you should be careful, if you have strong heat signs, high fever, red face, intense thirst, thick yellow phlegm, severe sore throat with swelling, mouth ulcers, strong irritability, or you feel hot and sweaty and dry. Turmeric is warming, black pepper is warming, ginger is warming. If you stack all warming ingredients in a wind-heat pattern, you may aggravate heat. In that case, you may need cooling hydration, rest, and possibly medical care depending on severity. Also, if you have severe acid reflux, gastritis, or stomach ulcers, turmeric can irritate for some people. And if you have diabetes or blood sugar issues, honey must be used carefully. If you take blood-thinning medication or have bleeding disorders, turmeric should be discussed with a healthcare professional. Now that we understand the pattern, let's talk about the best way to use turmeric and honey. The most common mistake people make is they do too much. They take giant spoonfuls of turmeric, they add pepper, they add ginger, they add lemon, they take it on an empty stomach, then they wonder why they feel nauseous, or why their reflux is worse, or why their throat feels more irritated. Chinese medicine is not about more, it's about right. Here's the simplest formula I recommend for most people. Warm water, not boiling, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of honey. Mix well, sip slowly. That's it, simple. Now, why warm water? Because warmth supports the spleen and stomach. It makes digestion smoother, it helps circulation. And why not boiling water? Because very hot water can damage some of the beneficial components in honey. So let the water cool slightly. Warm is perfect. Now many people ask, can I add black pepper? From a modern nutrition perspective, black pepper contains piperine, which can increase absorption of curcumin. But from a Chinese medicine perspective, black pepper is hot and moving. So my answer is this. If you are cold, stiff, sluggish, and you tend to have dampness, then a tiny pinch of black pepper can be helpful. If you are already hot, inflamed, sweating, or you have reflux, skip it, or use the smallest amount possible. Now, many people ask, can I add ginger? Ginger is excellent for wind-cold patterns, chills, clear mucus, stiffness, no sweating, early cold symptoms. But ginger is warming, so again use it only if it matches your pattern. If you want the ginger version, here is the gentle recipe. Warm water, 2 thin slices of fresh ginger, half a teaspoon turmeric, 1 teaspoon honey. Steep the ginger first, then add turmeric and honey. Sip slowly. This is especially useful when you feel cold, you feel tight, and you want warmth and circulation. Now what about lemon? Lemon is sour and can help fluids and soothe some throats, but it can also aggravate reflux. So if you tolerate lemon, a small squeeze is fine. If you have reflux, skip it. Now I want to give you a Dr. Kai early cold protocol that combines Chinese medicine logic with modern common sense. If you feel the beginning of illness, scratchy throat, mild fatigue, you feel something coming, do this for 24 hours. First, keep your meals warm and simple. Soups, congee, broth, cooked vegetables, no heavy greasy meals, no sugar. Second, reduce cold drinks. Drink warm water or warm tea. Third, do the turmeric and honey drink once in the evening. Fourth, do a warm foot soak for 10 minutes before bed. Fifth, sleep earlier that night. This is extremely important. In Chinese medicine, sleep is when yin rebuilds and the body repairs. If you stay up late when you're getting sick, you often turn a small problem into a bigger one. So the antibiotic effect here is not only turmeric, it is the whole support system. Now let's talk about why people feel immediate relief in the throat. Honey coats the throat. It creates a protective layer like a gentle blanket. Turmeric reduces inflammatory irritation in many people, so when you swallow, the rawness feels calmer. This is why sometimes people say, "I felt better in 10 minutes." That is not because the infection disappeared in 10 minutes. It's because irritation calmed and the nervous system relaxed. And when you relax, you heal faster. Now I want to talk about the difference between supporting the immune system and stimulating the immune system. This is important. Some people take strong immune stimulants and then they feel worse. More inflammation, more heat, more restlessness. In Chinese medicine, we want to support correct qi, not create excessive heat. Turmeric can be strong, honey can be strong, so we use small amounts. Now you may wonder, should you take this every day as prevention? This is where Chinese medicine is very practical. For some people, a small amount of turmeric regularly is helpful, especially those with cold patterns, stiffness, sluggish digestion, dampness, and low circulation. But for people who run hot, have reflux, insomnia, dry mouth, or a lot of internal heat, daily turmeric may aggravate. And for honey, daily use is fine for some people, but for others, especially those with phlegm, congestion, weight gain, or blood sugar issues, too much honey may increase dampness. So instead of every day forever, I recommend use it as a tool. Use it in cold seasons, use it at early signs, use it during recovery, then take breaks. Now I want to teach you one of my favorite Chinese medicine ways to identify whether you are more cold or more hot, because this changes how you use turmeric. If you are more cold type, you often have cold hands and feet, preference for warm drinks, loose stools, fatigue that improves with warmth, pale tongue, worse symptoms in cold weather. For cold type people, turmeric and honey often feels very helpful, especially with a little ginger. If you are more hot type, you often have feeling hot at night, thirst, dry mouth, irritability, red face, constipation, acid reflux, sweating easily. For hot type people, turmeric needs caution. Honey may still soothe throat, but warming spices should be used lightly. Now, I want to explain something deeper about infection and inflammation. Sometimes symptoms don't come from the germ alone. They come from the body being inflamed already. Poor sleep, stress, sugar, alcohol, and processed foods create internal heat and inflammation. Then you catch a cold, and the body overreacts. So part of being resilient is reducing chronic inflammation. This is one reason turmeric is so famous, not because it is magic, but because it helps many people reduce inflammatory patterns. But again, dosage matters. Now let's talk about how to make a turmeric honey paste that many people like. This is the version people use as a small spoonful when the throat feels irritated. Take 2 tablespoons honey, add 1 teaspoon turmeric, mix into a paste, store it in a clean jar. When needed, take half a teaspoon slowly, letting it coat the throat. Do not take large amounts. This is not candy. It's a small medicinal amount. Now, if you want to make it more Chinese medicine aligned, you can add a tiny pinch of salt if the throat is very dry. Salt enters the kidneys and helps generate fluids in Chinese medicine. But again, tiny pinch, not too much. Now let's talk about cough patterns, because this matters. If you have a dry cough, no mucus, scratchy throat, worse at night, honey is often very helpful. If you have a wet cough with thick mucus, especially thick yellow mucus, honey may sometimes increase phlegm for some people. Not always, but sometimes. So if your cough is very phlegmy, use less honey and focus more on warm fluids and professional guidance if severe. Now I want to talk about the gut, because in Chinese medicine, immunity begins in digestion. If your digestion is weak, your Wei Qi is often weak. And modern science also recognizes that gut health influences immunity. So if you want turmeric and honey to work better, you must also strengthen digestion. Here are 3 digestion rules that protect your immune system. Eat warm breakfast more often. Avoid cold drinks with meals. Stop eating when you're about 70% full. When you overeat, digestion becomes stagnant and dampness increases. Dampness is like fog in the body. In fog, the immune system works slower. Now, you may be thinking, Dr. Kai, I just want a simple remedy, not a lifestyle lecture. I understand. So let me give you the simplest version. Warm water, ½ teaspoon turmeric, 1 teaspoon honey, once per day for 3 to 5 days at early symptoms. That's enough. Now, let's also address something very important: quality and safety. Turmeric can be contaminated in some regions, so buy from a reputable source. Honey for infants under 1 year should not be given due to risk of botulism. For adults, quality honey is usually fine. If you can get raw honey, many people prefer it for its natural enzymes. But any real honey is better than fake syrup. Now let me answer the question I know some of you will ask. How fast does it work? For throat soothing, some people feel relief quickly, minutes to an hour. For immune support and inflammation support, it's usually a short-term supportive tool. Days, not minutes. If your symptoms are worsening after 48 hours, do not rely on home remedies alone. That's where medical evaluation is important. Now, I want to share the most common mistake I see with natural antibiotic videos. People treat it like a replacement for medical care. They delay help while symptoms worsen. Please don't do that. Chinese medicine is powerful, but it is most powerful when used appropriately. Early stage support, recovery stage support, constitution matching, and professional care when needed. Now, let's go into a more Chinese medicine explanation of why turmeric and honey can feel so effective. Turmeric has a moving quality. When illness begins, especially if the body is tense and tight, the qi can become constrained. Constriction creates heat. Heat dries fluids. Dryness irritates the throat. When turmeric gently moves qi and blood, tension releases. When tension releases, heat reduces. Honey moistens. Moistening reduces dryness. So you can see, it's a logical formula. Move what is stuck, moisten what is dry, support what is weak. But again, if you are already in strong heat, moving herbs must be used carefully because you don't want to stir up more heat. Now, I want to teach you a very simple 3-question test before you take turmeric and honey when you're sick. Question 1. Do I feel more cold or more hot right now? If cold, turmeric and honey is usually more appropriate. If hot, use less turmeric and consider cooling support and seek medical care if severe. Question 2. Is my throat dry and scratchy or thick and swollen with severe pain? If dry and scratchy, honey often helps. If severe swelling and intense pain, seek medical guidance. Question 3. Do I have mild symptoms or serious symptoms? Mild, home remedies may support. Serious, do not delay medical care. Now I want to share one more simple addition that can make this remedy work better for many people. Rest. This seems obvious, but people ignore it. If you take turmeric and honey and then continue working late, scrolling late, eating sugar, and sleeping at 1 a.m., you are fighting the body. If you take turmeric and honey and then rest, eat warm, and sleep early, you are helping the body. And helping the body is the real medicine. Now, a common question. Can you take turmeric and honey if you're not sick but you have chronic inflammation? Some people use it for joint discomfort, stiffness, and soreness. In Chinese medicine, turmeric can support blood movement and reduce stagnation pain. But again, 4 rules. Start small. Take it with food if your stomach is sensitive. Don't overheat your body with too many warming spices. And take breaks. Don't use the same remedy constantly without reassessment. Now, let me summarize the safe and effective ways to use it. Option 1. The warm drink. Warm water, ½ teaspoon turmeric, 1 teaspoon honey. Option 2. The paste for throat. Honey mixed with a small amount of turmeric, ½ teaspoon at a time. Option 3. The warming version for wind cold. Add ginger if you are chilled and stiff. And the caution list again. Diabetes, honey caution. Blood thinners, turmeric caution. Severe reflux or ulcers, turmeric caution. High fever or severe infection, seek medical care. Now, I want to end with a mindset shift. In Chinese medicine, the best medicine is prevention. Strong digestion, good sleep, calm nervous system, warmth, movement. When those are stable, you catch fewer colds and recover faster. Turmeric and honey becomes a small supportive tool, not something you depend on. So if you want to try this remedy, try it correctly. Use it early, use it gently, and watch your body's response. Because the best doctor is not a trend online. The best doctor is your own observation. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to Dr. Kai's Harmony Health. And if you want, in the next video I can share 2 Chinese acupressure points you can use at the first sign of a cold. One for throat irritation and one for sinus congestion. Take care of your body, stay warm, rest early, and I'll see you soon.